Good Morning Football host Sean O'Hara is under fire today when Tom Brady made his announcement that he had retired from football. And by the way, I love the way Tom Brady did that. Right to his own Instagram or whatever it was. He videos. He posted it. Do you think he sat there with his finger on the post button for an hour before he's like, okay?
Probably, or he had to pick out other pictures because he posted what they call a series.
Yeah.
I think he had no choice but to do it this way.
Because why?
Because he's already retired and unretired.
Yeah.
He said
once.
that.
He
said as much as that.
I really think last year when he did the long post, the thank you.
He said I only get one of those.
Yeah,
and that's it. Yeah.
So that's why I think he did it this way. Is there was no other way.
But I really do. I just wonder if he was sitting there on the beach with his thumb hovering over the button to post it and thought, should I? Is this the time?
Yeah.
Or did he just do it and click it?
Before he did that, who knew? I mean, you got to call the coach or the owner. Yeah.
I don't know because he wasn't even under contract.
Yeah.
He was a free agent. So he really wasn't connected anymore to the Buccaneers.
But what about just the courtesy of calling the Buccaneers owner and saying, hey,
Maybe he called them.
Planning on.
Or just a text saying, I'm getting ready to release my announcement that I'm going to retire. Something, a call. I don't know. It might have just been him on the beach and just did
I guess if you're the date that your contract ends, you can just do what you want.
I think that's what ruined it for him last time because he made the announcement, then Adam Schefter came out, and that's how everybody really found out about it.
Leakage.
And so if he went and told the coach, then there would have probably been an insider going, hey, by the way, Brady's retiring.
Well, many people that have retired in the past, you hear they're going to retire in 2 days.
Yeah.
There's a press conference set for 2 days, and you all know what it's going to be. Michael Jordan walked into a room, and there were 1 million people because they knew what he was going to announce. This way, it was so clean. It was out of nowhere. It was out of the blue. Boom.
Middle of the week.
And I don't think many people expected. I think a lot of people thought he was going to go play for another team.
I did. I did not expect him to retire.
Well, anyhow, yesterday when he announced it, of course, they covered it on NFL Network. This is Good Morning Football. The host is Sean O'Hara, and he compared that moment, that day of Tom Brady retiring to other historic events.
This is a huge moment, not just for Tom Brady, not just for the NFL, but for all of us. Look. People remember where they were when JFK was assassinated. Remember where you were with 9/11.
Can I tell you something? Can I interrupt you real quick? His first start was a week after 9/11. That's how long ago he's been playing.
I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember who I'm with. You're going to remember where you were when Tom Brady announced his official retirement. And it sounds like this one's for real.
A lot of comments on that were, bro.
Yeah.
Okay,
Come on,
man.
bro.
JFK, 9/11. This is
tweaking, bro.
Different. You're tweaking, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Tom Brady Day is not going to be February 1st now. That's just not what's going to happen. You're not going to remember that date. Although it was a year to the day, by the way, since he retired last year.
Oh.
Every February
really?
1st. Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel said every February 1st, he comes out, he retires, he sees the shadow, he goes back. He goes and plays for another team.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Bad announcer here. I wouldn't say bad. The BBC had a soccer broadcast interrupted by someone in an act of sabotage who had left pornographic videos on their phone, and it went off while the show, it was like the desk show, the pregame show, talking about soccer on the BBC.
Look like a team that I think can win the game. I don't think there's enough experience in the team.
Okay, well, we'll find out shortly. With an FA Cup winners only policy in the studio tonight. And I don't know who's making that noise, but so Alan Shearer is on the
That's the noise of passion.
Steve Bauer. Alan?
In the background.
It's toasty in this studio. It's a bit noisy as well. I don't know if somebody's sending something on someone's phone.
Apparently, a disgruntled employee of the BBC had left it behind to go off like that while it was on air, and indeed it was an act of sabotage to put it back there like that.
I love how they handled that. It's a very Chris Kelly moment. It went on way too long because they were looking for confirmation.
Yeah, like what? Where?
What's going on here? Should we stop that?
God, you're right.
You got to say something.
Yeah.
You're so right. And yeah, you're right. They didn't say much of anything while it was just going on in the background.
I don't think there's enough experience in the team.
Okay, well, we'll find out shortly. With an FA Cup winners only policy in the studio tonight. And I don't know who's making that noise, but so Alan Shearer is on the commentary gantry alongside Steve Bauer. Alan? It's toasty in this studio. It's a bit noisy as well. I know somebody's sending something on someone's phone.
Finally got it stopped like that. One day the phone was going off in here, BB Show. It's a few years ago, and I was so angry. I was so mad. There was a phone behind us that was going off, and I was just fuming. I was knocking it off its pedestal and everything. It was my phone in my pocket. I think the alarm went off or something like that, and it just really went bad. It looked bad on me.
Kelly he's hung up on some phones. I remember one time there was a phone behind you that you went over there and
slammed.
They kept calling in here.
Yeah. Well,
I think it might have been the girl up front.
It was. She didn't. Well, in fairness, she didn't know what we did for a living.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually,
she didn't know where she was most of the time.
He's not kidding, BB Shea. After being here, I believe 2 years, she finally came up to Dave and realized that. She goes, "Oh, you're on the show too."
She's like, "Congratulations!"
Yeah, she doesn't know.
No.
Well, in fairness to her, she only sat 10 feet from us and looked through the window at us every single day for several years. But yeah, she would dial in here like to talk to us, and it's like we're
It had happened several times on different days, and then one day Kelly he reached behind him on the air, pulled away, picked up the receiver on the phone, and slammed it.
It's such a distraction, you know. Yeah. It's like when Littlest Patriot. Now this is Super Bowl related.
This is Chris Kelly. This is how you get.
He came in here with a cake. The Broncos were in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks, and he had no allegiance to the Seahawks. Just to tick me off, he brought in a big sheet cake with a big Seahawk logo on it, and I put my fist through it here in the studio, and cake flew everywhere. And that's when he became truly frightened of me. That's when his eyes got really big, and Chris Demm said that he would die at my hand, not by choice, but just in an accident. I'd slam him against the wall, and blood will start to spread slowly, slowly behind his head.
His head will hit the wall, or you won't see the jacket hook that's on the wall, and it'll that's what'll happen, and you'll kill him. Immediately. You'll regret it.
Yes.
You know. There'll be a teary-eyed, you're led into jail.
Yeah. That's
very
right.
Alec Baldwin.
There.
That's Kelly's, Kelly gets pent up, and he holds in everything, and he puts up with everything, and then something cracks.
Finally it goes. That's right. This has got me angry today. There's a teenager in, her name is Madison Russo. She is 19 years old. She has cancer. And she raised $37,000 on TikTok and creating a GoFundMe account about battling pancreatic cancer, saying she had a tumor the size of a football wrapped around her spine. Her story unraveled, however. It was not true. She was making all that up just to get money, and she made $37,000. This is the girl. We have her, one of her posts about having cancer.
Yeah, I get a lot of questions about my hair. Like, you look so good. Like, how are you keeping your hair? It just comes down to my brand of chemo, which is oral chemo. I got really lucky with that. So thank goodness, fingers crossed. That's something to be so grateful for.
Isn't that awful? I mean, that's about the worst thing you can do, in my opinion. To fake an illness like that, disease, which affects so many people, and she's only 19.
Yeah, people started noticing. I don't know if this is just one little lie that got a snowball, and then she didn't know how to stop, because they said people started noticing inconsistencies.
Right.
The more she would talk about her cancer.
Yeah.
In fact, though, she had a whole setup when they went to her house. She had. There's pictures of her with tubes up her nose.
Yeah,
really.
She had a whole setup.
I was wondering how they
was doing this.
How they found out she was faking it.
Some of her stories or things she would say would just not be true.
Well, of course, she didn't lose her hair, as you heard. Now, here's what really did it. Some doctors saw the story because she's posting all the time, and she raised $37,000. So doctors noticed that there were inconsistencies with the type of cancer she had and the medical equipment that she placed around her room and around her to make it look like she had cancer. What you just said, they were like, well, she shouldn't have that. So they dug into it a little bit more and found out she was lying. Golly, how low. And she's only 19. She's set up for life now to be this liar, who did this. To me, it'll haunt her for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the video is always going to be out there.
Now, you may know about this. I don't know. Maybe we have to ask our attorney, Lisa Lanier. She collected $37,000 on a complete lie. Does she keep the money? I mean, is that up to you to give or not give?
I don't know how. See, here's the deal. I think it's if GoFundMe has distributed or not. If they've already distributed the money, I don't know how that works with her. Now, a lot of times GoFundMe will hold stuff, and if it's just held there, GoFundMe will just refund everyone who donated.
Right.
Before it ever gets to her.
Yeah.
It depends on if the money has been given to the girl, and then you might have to go after her, which, I mean, if you gave her $25, I don't think you're going to go chase her down.
Yeah, but as a class action, or have her arrested for fraud.
Well, I would want all that money back. I would want my $25 back because you're completely duped. I mean, you're completely duped.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, this is an update from yesterday. My sister-in-law says that the guy, yesterday I told the story, she was trying to sell a Nintendo Switch. It turned out it wasn't a Nintendo Switch. It was a Nintendo Switch game.
Okay.
For $25. And a guy bought it on eBay. And she uses eBay every once in a while. Guy bought it, and she sent it off through UPS, tracked it, had it to where it was delivered. It said, delivered to porch of this address, whatever date. And so she thought she was done. Well, he never got it or claims he never got it. And he's been berating her ever since. And she's like, I'm not giving his money back because I think it's a scam. Well, he has opened a case against her now on eBay. She said that's the latest. Is like he's going through eBay to try to get back his $25.
Then that makes me wonder more about your theory of the porch pirate.
I think somebody stole it or was delivered to the wrong address.
Yeah.
But even if it's a porch pirate, I think she gets to keep the $25 because she did her part. She sent it and she has proof.
Yeah, that's over with
that it
from
was.
her end.
Yeah. I mean, if I order something from Nike and it's just left in front of my door and somebody takes it, I can't go to Nike and they're not going to give me my money back. Yeah,
exactly. That's just not going to happen.
What about the caller yesterday and the pinpoint of the UPS delivery driver that they can actually?
Yeah.
They've got these delivery drivers like with these air tags on them,
and they worked for UPS. They knew that. Yeah. I'm going to tell my sister-in-law about that and see if she can track it that way.
But you're right. I mean, just in general, they know that it's been delivered.
Yes.
So she should be finished, hands washed.
That's what she says of it. But now he's going back at eBay about it. Yeah. This is another teenager who's embarrassed. And now he didn't do anything as wrong as the 19-year-old who faked cancer to make money. But on a dare, he's in Australia. His friends at age 14, and he has not been identified, dared him to put a golf ball up his butt and hold it there for the day. And they would give him money if he did. So he did it. Unfortunately, it slid too far up.
I knew it.
And I saw the x-ray. It got up into his intestine. It literally went up and got into his intestine. So when he couldn't get rid of it, when he couldn't dispose of it, after a while, he had to finally go to his parents and say, I've got a golf ball up my butt.
I don't even know. What do you say as a father? When you find out, you're just
That's
like...
Australia.
It's Australia.
Because you're like, oh, man.
Better him than me.
Yeah.
That's right.
Golf ball up his rectum.
It's got to hurt, though, to find out your kid is the dumb kid.
Yeah, he's the idiot. So he could not get rid of the golf ball. He told his parents. They rushed him to the hospital. He did not complain of discomfort, but said there is a golf ball up there. They did an x-ray, and you can see it now right in the middle of his intestine.
Thankfully, you had to scratch golfer as the doctor.
You're right.
I got it out with an 8-iron.
Tideless. I got it.
This yours?
That's my brand. The doctor should say, I'll take this.
I think this is yours.
Found one.
Is that your mark?
Hole in one.
That's my mark. Yeah. Million to one shot. Million to one.
Man, how'd that get up there? So they tried to use a suction cup over the anus.
Whoa, now.
To remove it. Wouldn't move, wouldn't budge. So they tried to use a medical net, a looped snare, something called a quad prong grasper, a retrieval pouch, and a balloon catheter. And none of it would budge the golf ball. It couldn't get up to it, apparently.
Well, they do get ground in sometimes.
Well, apparently they did. That's exactly right. It's like a sand trap. You
can't right in the side of it, you know?
Can't get out of there.
Yeah, and you can't move it.
Can't make that shot. So they tried everything they could possibly do. So finally, the doctor said, okay, we're going to give you some powerful laxatives and hope that this will help.
Boy.
And that's exactly what he did. He took a liter of laxatives.
Oh.
So it was like a colonoscopy. And 24 hours later, he...
Bloop. It's about 200 yards on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wet. That's water.
It's going in the water.
That's water.
It's got to go in the water. I tell you, Jim. These shots.
He came out of the bathroom and said, success.
Did a bunch of PGA officials run around and take a look at it? Yeah, I don't think he can get that out.
Oh, my God. Melissa, you're commenting on this 14-year-old in Australia who had the golf ball up his butt. Go ahead.
I briefly dated a guy who was a trauma RN, and on our first date, he took out his phone and showed me an x-ray with name and all that blurred out. So I guess it wasn't a violation of HIPAA.
Yeah.
But he asked me to try to identify what was stuck up this guy's rectum. And I stared at it and took guess after guess after guess. I never got it right. Turns out it was a 22-inch long foam pool noodle.
Oh, my God. 22 inches long.
23.
A pool noodle. Oh, my God. How'd that get up there?
22 inches.
Was he?
I made a mistake.
Those doctors and nurses see everything. My God. Now, did that make you like him more or less when he showed you that on the first date?
It made it the most interesting first date I've ever been on, but no, I really didn't ever go anywhere with that.
I gotcha. I'd say, wow, that is an interesting date. They tell stories of seeing all those different things. Great call. Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate that. But, wow, a 22-inch pool noodle.
Why do you keep going?
Up your butt. Yeah, you can't get... I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Obviously, it's not the first time something's been in
no.
that place.
No. My aunt used to work in a hospital. She saw shampoo bottles, everything. Soap on a rope. You name it. It was going up there.
People like that stuff sometimes, Kelly.
The doctors have confirmed they had a successful evacuation of the golf ball. And they saw no evidence of any bowel injuries. But they told the teen, don't do it again.